Hello everybody and welcome to day 2 of FE Choices Week. Today we are going to be talking to you about apprenticeships, traineeships and supported internships. Whether you're joining us live or you're watching the video back on YouTube later, these events, this is the second in our series of a week-long virtual careers fair designed to help young people aged 14 to 19 to make informed career choices. My name's Caroline. I will be hosting the events on behalf of Stockport Council, Stockport Jobs Match, Bridge GM and Gander Careers. Now, the events are all geared towards 14 to 19-year-olds, teachers and careers advisors, parents, carers and families. You might be watching some of these videos as part of your school day or your homework to do independent research or as part of your own personal study. And what you can expect to get out of these events is a real insight into the different pathways and options that are available to you when you leave secondary school, so that you can understand the different routes that are available. It's really common for lots of people to just maybe consider one or two choices, but particularly in light of the last 12 months and the huge amount of uncertainty that we've all faced, it's a really good idea to know what all of your different options are and have access to lots and lots of different colleges, sixth forms and training providers, so that you can feel like you've made the best choice possible based on your situation and also have a backup plan in place in case anything goes wrong. Now, all of the information that we're going to talk about today and throughout the course of the week is available on the Stockport Jobs Match website. Stockport Jobs Match is a bit of a one-stop shop for jobs. So they've got things like apprenticeships, traineeships, volunteering, part-time jobs on that are great for students, as well as a great selection of careers advice information, so over 150 different careers advice articles, including day in the life employer videos to give you an insight into different careers. And we also have our training directory, so for any provider who is mentioned today, you can go and look up their details as to how to contact them, find videos, virtual tours and prospectus information to follow up on today's events. Now, as part of FE Choices Week, we're bringing you a series of information, so be sure to take full advantage of that. That starts with our classroom videos that are about a 20 to 30 minute snapshot of each pathway. And by pathway, I mean a specific qualifications route. So our first video yesterday talked all about A levels and T levels. Today, as mentioned, we're going to be talking about apprenticeships, traineeships and supported internships. Tomorrow's third video is going to be talking about vocational and technical qualifications, so things like BTECs, as well as short courses and study programmes. Thursday, we're going to be talking all about non-traditional career routes, so what to do if you're undecided, the transition from secondary education to further education and alternative provision. And Friday, we look at absolutely everything from routes into employment, long-term career aspirations, some alternative things like nursing cadet pathways for Stockport NHS, and work experience and UCAS points, and how all of the pathways that we're going to talk about throughout the week equate to those UCAS points and wanting to go to university at the end. If you want to watch those classroom videos, if you've not seen them during the course of the school day, go onto YouTube and just search the hashtag FE Choices and you'll find that full list of videos come up, and they're a really good way to start your learning about what's available. The video today about apprenticeships and traineeships explains exactly what they are, how long they last for, how to apply for them, the workplace element, how to do the study-based element either in the workplace or at college, and is a great introduction to those pathways, so a good starting point. We've also got some great student resources, skills builders to find out more about yourself, career roadmap tools to plan where you're going to get, how you're going to get to your end goal and the milestones that you need to meet, a pathway evaluation tool so you can weigh up the benefits of one, A-levels against apprenticeships, for example, and a planner for your weekly activities so that you can show your teacher or careers advisor what you've done and get that all-important participation certificate at the end. We've also got evening sessions on Zoom, so if you want to submit some questions in advance, you can email them to us to the email on the screen, or via social media on any of our channels, which again you can find just using that hashtag FEChoices21. And we'll be able to answer those with our expert panel 6:30 every single day this week. So today we're going to be hearing from the following providers. Up first, we've got Juniper Training talking about traineeships, followed by Damar talking about the different levels of apprenticeships. GP Strategies are going to be introducing the different sectors and courses that you can study. Apprenticeship Store talking about how to apply for an apprenticeship. The Manchester College talking about benefits and career prospects of studying these pathways. Stockport College talking about how you study an apprenticeship in a college environment. Trafford College are going to talk to us about school leaver programmes. Reseaheath about the work placement element. Pure Innovations are going to focus on supported internships, and the National Careers Service are going to talk about career options after apprenticeships, and CTEC finishing the day with workplace skills and employability. So lots to get through. So first up, I'm going to pass you over to Rebecca at Juniper, who's going to start her presentation all about traineeships. Welcome, Rebecca.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Caroline. Yes, so I'm going to just introduce Juniper Training, explain a bit about who we are, and then talk to you about traineeships and what they are and why they're important. And then I'll lead on to our apprenticeship team where we've got Leighton. So who are Juniper Training? We are an independent training provider focused on securing outcomes for 16 to 24-year-olds into employment, apprenticeships or further education. We've been operating since 1983, so over 35 years of experience in the sector. And we support over 2,500 students per year across 13 delivery sites. We're an Ofsted registered good provider and an approved apprenticeship training provider for all ages. And we're a post-16 choice, so our aim is to provide personalised pathways to learning tailored to individual needs and aspirations. Have the next slide, please, Caroline. Oh, and the next one. Thank you. So what is a traineeship? So it's basically a work placement that is unpaid, but it's aimed at supporting you with getting your foot in the door in your chosen career sector. They're a stepping stone for getting onto an apprenticeship or paid employment. They tend to range from 6 weeks to 12 months, so they give young people the skills and experience to progress onto an apprenticeship or sustainable employment, whichever you choose to do afterwards. And they're suitable for anyone aged 16 to 24, and they're predominantly work experience focused with an opportunity for you to undertake your maths and English qualifications up to GCSE level if you need them. So the entry requirements for studying a traineeship with Juniper Training would be that you have little or no work experience in your chosen sector, and that you're aged 16 to 18 or 24 with an education and healthcare plan. And then if you need your maths and English, you can study those alongside, but you would need to be studying towards E3 level or higher. So work experience or the traineeship is important because employers want employees to have work experience. It sets you apart from the competition, and it helps you to know if that career path is the right sector for you. You might have a sector in mind and then go on to a traineeship in that sector and decide it's not right for you, and that's fine because it's just as important to know what you don't want to do as well. And have the next slide, please, Caroline. So I'm just going to give you examples of where we place students, just to show you that traineeships are very varied. So Travis Perkins, so if you're looking to go into warehouse or customer service roles. Glam Fam, so it's beauty. Shinny's Gym, which is a sport traineeship. Active CV, which is also sport and admin roles as well. IFA agency, which is a music booking agent, where the role is business admin, but that also can support you if you want to get into the music industry. Millie's Grill, which is customer service. Kids Planet, so childcare and nursery settings. And then Personal Court, which is health and social care setting. So as I mentioned earlier about it being important to know what you don't want to do as well. So if you started a traineeship and decided that that sector wasn't the sector that you wanted to go into, it still doesn't mean that that's something that you shouldn't be doing, that you shouldn't continue with that traineeship, because you'll gain transferable skills from any traineeship that you go into. So transferable skills are skills that you'll pick up in one job role that you can take to another job role. So, for example, creativity. So if you're in a traineeship where you come up with a new inventive idea or find a solution to a difficult problem and basically thinking outside the box, you can take that creativity to any job role. Also people skills and communication, adaptability, problem solving and time management. So all of those skills you could learn in one traineeship setting and still adapt them when you go into another job role or traineeship or apprenticeship. Next slide, please, Caroline. Thank you. So upon completion of a traineeship, you will ideally have your Maths and English GCSE or Functional Skills Level 2, a reference from an employer, proven commitment to a sector or role, and knowledge and experience in that chosen field, and a greater chance of securing a paid apprenticeship or job. So if you'd like to contact myself at Juniper Training, if you're looking for traineeships, then my contact details are on there. And I'm just going to lead on to our apprenticeship team now, so where we've got Liaison.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you're well. Would you be kind enough to just go to the next slide for me, please, Caroline? Do apologise. I've got a slight delay in the slides that I'm seeing at the moment, so hopefully everyone can hear perfectly well. Basically today I want to talk to you about apprenticeships and have a little look later at the apprenticeships that are available through Juniper Training. So have you ever thought about what you really wanted to do, not being quite sure how to get there, what the career paths are, etc.? Believe it or not, with apprenticeships there's nearly 800 different types of apprenticeship that's available in most sectors, most vocations. The first or the next slide that I've gone on to is the link on there to the Institute for Apprenticeships. That particular link, if you open that up, have a look at that, it's actually a link for every apprenticeship standard which is available within England at the moment. And I say England because Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland are slightly different on what their offering is. So there's lots there, and you'll see there's 749 different types of apprenticeships, ranging from level 2 to apprenticeships right through to degree level apprenticeships. So there's a lot of stuff that's available, lots of opportunity, and really a vast amount of different vocations and standards that you can do. I'm just going to pause a second while we just sort out. There we go. Thank you. So apprenticeships themselves have been designed by groups of employers who've worked together as part of committees to reflect in their knowledge of the industry and the business to bring together the apprenticeship standards. So they're actually designed and tailored by organisations who know exactly what they're looking for when they're looking for an apprentice. Apprentices can be new or existing employees. So they're not just aimed at the younger workforce. So basically, if you're 16 or above, you're eligible to do an apprenticeship. The way they work, they combine study with skills and actually work experience from that role. What you do, you spend at least 20% of your working hours or contracted hours on what's called off-the-job training. Now, off-the-job training is training which isn't you just doing your ordinary day-to-day job, it's learning all the aspects of that. So it could be shadowing a colleague, it might be visiting events, entering a competition maybe, it could be the study through your apprenticeship tutor, but all of those things that combine together to make your learning journey. Would you be kind enough to move me to the next slide, please? So thank you. I don't know if it's moved on, as I said, I do get a delay, but the next slide is that link that I discussed for the Institute of Apprenticeships. So have a look on that. It might not be that relevant to yourself, but if you know where you'd like to take your career, it's certainly worth looking at. And let's just say that there is a lot of apprenticeship standards, or all of the apprenticeship standards on there, and you can actually see who delivers them and what organisations are available to support you, right through to university level apprenticeships. Carolyn, would you move me to the next slide, please? So the next slide is an overview of the apprenticeships that we offer from Juniper Training. So we've broken them down into 4 sectors: business, education and childcare, customer service and retail, and then construction and warehousing. So the different elements in there, you've got business administrator, the HR level 3 and level 5, which are very popular at the moment, as are the recruitment and recruitment consultant. And there's four qualifications there that we quite often don't see a lot of young people coming out of school and college looking at those sort of roles. They quite blink, I suppose, for want of a better word, and thinking, oh, I'm going to work in an office or do business admin. Open your horizons, think exactly about what you want to do, and there's some fantastic careers. Moving on within your career, you've got the team leader supervisory roles, which go right through to senior management roles. On the education and childcare, you've got the early years practitioner and early years educator roles, which is a nice progression route if that's where you want to develop your career within the education and early years sector. We do the young children and young people families practitioner apprenticeship. Now that particular one is designed for individuals who work in residential childcare homes. So it's working in that environment, and it's a level 4 apprenticeship. So it's a higher level apprenticeship, and it encompasses everything that you need. It also includes the level 3 diploma, which is an Ofsted requirement for working in that particular role. We do teaching assistant at level 3, and then we do the learning mentor at level 3, and the assessor and coach if you move into the assessing role and coaching role of individuals. Within customer service and retail, we have the customer service at level 2 and level 3, and the retailer at level 2. And then lastly, the construction and warehousing. The roofer at level 2 is a very bespoke qualification. We're one of only a few providers that actually offer that, and that involves working out of our centre, which has been specifically designed for this apprenticeship and enrolled within Stoke on a day release basis. Whereas it's an all-encompassing to get you within that vocation. And then lastly there, the supply chain warehouse, which is the warehouse and supply chain operative. Again, really it's a growing qualification. When you have a look for jobs, you can always see that people are advertising for warehouse staff and courier staff and supply chain staff. That's an absolutely fantastic route into that. If you just move me on to the last slide, please. So how do I find these apprenticeships? Where do I find the information from? Simple. Basically, Google find an apprenticeship on the website or whatever browser that you use. You'll come up with a government website, which is www.gov.uk/apply-apprenticeships. And basically you can search in there just by clicking the search button, and you can actually put in your home postcode or the area where you live. You can search within a radius of that, or you can actually put specifically what you're looking for and see with any radius what sort of apprenticeships are available. Don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that that's all that's available. That's what's advertised on the government website. If you see something that you're interested in there, then actually apply for it and go through that process. If you've equally found somewhere that says yes, I can offer, which you've got an employer that you are interested in and you know someone that will offer that apprenticeship, contact them. Certainly from like ourselves, if we have a candidate which is actively seeking for an apprenticeship, we'll work and liaise with employers to try and identify and source that employment and pathway for you. So I'd just like to say thank you for listening to me, and I wish you all the best for your careers. Thank you. Just like to hand you back to Caroline to step through to the next presenter.
Yeah, thanks very much, Leighton. And as he mentioned, you can also find access to all Juniper and other apprenticeships and traineeships information on Stockport Jobs Match. You just go to the main page and select jobs. You will be able to filter and find apprenticeship and traineeship vacancies on there. So next up, we've got a presentation from Jack at Damar Training, who's going to be talking to us a little bit about apprenticeship. So I will hand you over. Apologies for the slight glitch this morning in some of the slide displays, but we should have everything sorted now. Thanks very much. Over to you, Jack.
Thanks very much, Caroline, and thank you very much to Juniper for getting us off to a good start. So my name's Jack and I work in the recruitment team at Damar Training. I'll speak to you a little bit later on about who Damar are and the type of qualifications that we offer. But first, I just want to speak to you briefly about the different levels of apprenticeship so that you can make the best choice for yourself. Next slide, please. Thank you very much. So as you can see on the screen, we've categorized the different levels of apprenticeships for you. So we have the intermediate and the advanced, which I think a lot of the audience today will be aiming towards if they're leaving school or they're leaving college, perhaps, right up to higher apprenticeships, including degree apprenticeships at level 6 and 7. So the intermediate apprenticeships, they're level 2. So you'll see those advertised as level 2 apprenticeships. They're the equivalent to 5 GCSE passes. Now, one thing I would say on the intermediate apprenticeships is if you have left school, if you're in year 11, you're completing your GCSEs at the moment, I wouldn't encourage you to dismiss the level 2 apprenticeships just because you think, oh, I've already done GCSEs. The level 2 apprenticeships are a really valuable way to get you into the workplace and get you that experience. So definitely worth considering if you are weighing up your options at the moment. After that, we do have the advanced apprenticeship, which is a level 3, and that's the equivalent to 2 A levels or another a level 3 qualification. So again, the level 2, the level 3, they do tend to be the ones that we recruit for a lot of the time, and they are aimed at those school and college leavers. And then we go right up to the higher and degree apprenticeships. A lot of the time those are something what we'd refer to at Damar as employed status. So it is an employer where they put an existing member of staff onto those programs in order to develop them and get them up to that next level. It's not something that we'd ordinarily go out and recruit for. That is usually aimed towards the level 2 and the level 3, to be honest with you. Next slide, please. Thank you. So these are the different programs that we offer at Damar. As I'll mention in a couple of slides time, we do offer a range of professional qualifications. So when I say that, think about your typical office-based occupations, particularly when it comes to the legal sector. So we offer a range of qualifications from level 2 right up to the level 6 with a chartered legal executive. So the level 2 in customer service, the level 2 in accountancy, which we've recently started offering, those are really valuable ways, really valuable entry-level opportunities for those who are looking to get into the workplace after they leave school. And then we also have the business admin level 3, which is our most popular program, which again is perfect for you guys who want to get into an office-based role or get into an administration-based role after you leave your studies. Next slide, please. Thank you. So we did originally have a video planned here, but I believe Caroline and the team are going to be making that available to you at the end of the day. I get a thumbs up from her, so I must be right in saying that. We just had a video here about a previous student of ours called Jordan. He worked at a law firm and made his way up through different levels of apprenticeships and progressed with us and his employer Waitmans. If you do want to look at more case studies like that, it might not be for the legal route, it might be for the business route who progress onto a team leader apprenticeship maybe. I would encourage you to take a look at our website. We have lots of different apprentice case studies on there across a range of sectors. So if you are looking for a little bit of inspiration, then that is your go-to place. Next slide, please. Thank you very much. So I'll speak a little bit about who Damar are and what we do, basically. So next slide, thank you. Brilliant. So just a little bit of an introduction about Damar Training. So we have a 40-year history in the training and apprenticeships industry. We specialise in business and professional qualifications. So as you'd have seen from the types of programmes that we offer, that's accounting, legal, business admin, customer service, management and travel. So again, think of your typical office-based occupations when I say that. We work with a range of SMEs, levy payers and public sector organisations across England. So we work with the more local firms who might be sort of an owner, manager, director looking to grow his team. We work with levy paying organisations. So those are your bigger organisations that tend to be the household names. And also public sector organisations across England. So we work with a number of local authorities up and down the country, as well as the NHS, Greater Manchester Police, that I'll speak a little bit more about later on. We support thousands of apprentices and employers every year, and we have most recently been rated good by Ofsted. Next slide, please. Thank you. So I've got a couple of slides now just to give you a taste of the type of employers that we work with. So these are some of our bigger partner employers. We've got the Co-op, Owen Mitchell, NHS, Greater Manchester Police, so as I've just said about the public sector organisations, and also Clarity Travel. So Clarity, for example, have recently signed a new deal with Everton Football Club. So those are some of the bigger employers that we do work with at Damar. But if we could go on to the next slide, we do also work with a number of more local employers as well. So Viasex Systems, they're based in Bredbury. We've got Bennett Verby Accountants, Stockport Council, Vernon Building Society and Alfred Newton Solicitors. So a range of employers there. And I would encourage you to take a look at who the employer is, of course, when you have a look at the job description to see where you'd be best based, really. So would you thrive in perhaps a smaller organisation where you can get involved with more things, or would you do better in sort of a more structured department in a bigger firm? And next slide, please. Perfect. So I just wanted to put a quick slide in here about the Gmp recruitment that we do. So we have recently had confirmation through just in the last week or so that we will be recruiting for them again this year. It is the biggest programme that we run each year. So it's a business admin level 3 qualification. It's open to those who are 16 plus. Last year we recruited 110 apprentices for the force, and they were based in police stations across the Greater Manchester region, or even at the force headquarters. Most apprentices do go on to secure full-time employment with Gmp after their programme. So within the final 6 months of the apprenticeship with Gmp, they do encourage you to start applying for permanent roles, and you would receive support with your applications if you do want to secure a fully substantive role within the firm upon completion of the apprenticeship. So the ad for this will be going live over the next few weeks. So if this is something which you may be interested in, then please do keep your eyes peeled. So that's everything from me. I'll pass you back over to Caroline now, who can tee us up for our next presenter. But thanks very much for your time this morning.
Thanks very much, Jack. That was really insightful to hear about some of the businesses who recruit apprentices and the environments that you might be working in. Next up, we have got Dean at GP Strategy, who's going to be talking to us a little bit about some of the types and sectors that you can study for an apprenticeship or traineeship in. So over to you, Dean. Thank you.
Hi there. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. Yes, my name's Dean Shannon. I'm here to talk to you about the different types and sectors of apprenticeships that we offer here at GP Strategies. And alongside that, we also offer the traineeships. We've been doing this for over 50 years. And we're very, very responsible in producing top quality apprenticeships and traineeships for the local economy and UK, alongside doing worldwide business. You want to move on to the next slide, please. So like you can see, that's me there. I'm the training programme manager for GP Strategies. I've done apprenticeship myself in the past, a long time ago, and worked my way through the apprenticeship model as an engineer, and now I'm a senior manager here at GP Strategies. So it does tell you that the apprenticeship and the traineeship models do work. It has been around for a long time. Like I said, it was a long time ago when I've done mine, but moving forward, it's not done me any harm, and I've been very successful with my career so far. So if you want to move on, Caroline, please. So a bit about today's topics. I'm going to talk to you about us at GP Strategies and how we could help you, the types of traineeships and apprenticeships that we offer, the sector areas we work in, and also how we can support you and how you can apply to us direct, and obviously our contact details. So if you move on, Caroline, please. So GP Strategies. GP Strategies is a worldwide organisation. We're part of the GP Strategies Corporation, who operate worldwide. As you can see there, there's many offices and places we work in. We work across America, South America, major operations in Europe, and also across Asia. So you can imagine there's quite a lot of people work for GP Strategies. We're a very big organisation worldwide. Across the UK sites, you have many sites across UK. Stockport being the head office for the whole of UK. The regions we operate across is obviously the Greater Manchester area, Stockport being the main one. Blackpool, Bodmin, Devon, Greenwich and London, Halifax, Midlands, Stirling in Scotland. So you can imagine there's quite a lot of things goes on within the UK. And I'm the training program manager for the whole UK. So, but my main office is Stockport, although I do travel across up and down the country. Obviously, once this pandemic's over, I will be dealing across the country. So could you move on, please, Caroline? So this is all about you. It's about why a career or a job. So what's the difference between a career and a job? So it's your choice. Do you want the job or do you want a career? There's two different things that goes alongside that. What sectors do you want to work in? I know it's a hard decision because you might be young, you might be undecided, but like a few of my colleagues before me have talked about, trying different things on traineeships, trying different things on apprenticeships. So it's about getting you to where you want to be. You need to ask yourself, what gets you out in the bed and what gets you out of your bed in the morning? What drives you? What's your aspirations and what's your ultimate goals? Once you know exactly where you want to be and where you want to go, that's the exact time that you need to come and speak to people like ourselves and other training providers, because that's what we're all here for. And then we're here to give you that guidance and support to get you to the next level to where you want to be. So next slide, Caroline, please. So some of the type of apprenticeships and sectors that we operate here at GP Strategies, especially specifically in the Stockport office, we specialise in a wide range of traineeships and apprenticeships and training courses across a variety of professions and sectors. So childcare, so we work across the childcare and education sector. Currently we have over 3,000 apprentices across the UK on programme. As it sits now, I manage the recruitment team here and I had a conversation with them this morning. And we have currently, as it stands right now, there's 15 live vacancies in Stockport in childcare. So there's jobs there for everybody in the Stockport area for this sector. We also work in the adult care sector and we currently have over 2,000 on training across the UK. And in Stockport live right now, this changes daily. Every day it changes. There's around 10 live vacancies in adult care for apprenticeships and traineeships currently in Stockport. And the same with the business admin and leadership management. There's over 2,500 currently on programme training, with roughly around about 10 to 15 current live vacancies in the Stockport area. So if you think about looking at Stockport as an area for vacancies in them sectors, we have here, just out the Stockport office, live vacancies who are needing to be filled, roughly around about 40-45 vacancies. On average, every month across the UK, we place around between 350 and 450 new learners into careers. So we're changing a lot of lives here. We're giving a lot of good news, people new jobs and career pathways. So that's a lot of people across the UK every month who are moving into apprenticeships or traineeships to support their careers moving forward. Let's move on to the next slide, please, Carly. So some examples, like our previous colleagues, some of the examples in the sectors we work across in the UK is obviously the public sectors, the NHS. Private sectors, we work across Rolls-Royce and Derby and a couple of other sites. We work across manufacturing processes, engineering, transport, logistics, financial services, plus many more. And business admin and different things like that is kind of the roles that they're looking at for some of them sectors. The other sectors we work across worldwide as a corporation, we're really high on the automotive sector across America and different places around the world. And as you can see, they're split it up into percentages around the world. There is quite a lot of different things that GP strategies do offer. Obviously, we're focusing on what we're operating here in Stockport and Greater Manchester and the UK, but we do work across other industries around the world, and you could see there it's quite prominent. Next slide, please, Carly. So, how do you apply for a traineeship or apprenticeship? GP strategies can support your applications in many ways. Yeah, you can apply direct to us via our website www.gpstl/apprenticeships.co.uk. You can email us on apprenticeshipsuk@gpstrategies.com, or you can give us a call on 0330 1000 610. We offer lots of different things here. We offer CV support, career pathways. We offer jobs with qualifications, careers. We offer Maths and English qualifications. If you require them, you might already have them. We're an industry recognised qualification and certification. My certificates cover me for around the world, and so will these. We offer learner employer support. We have a free recruitment service, which is called the ART team, which I manage part of that team. We have vacancies in your areas of choice local to you. So if you go on our website and through Get My First Job, Indeed, and also through the Stockport Jobs Match, we have our vacancies on there. And we've got subject matter experts to give you free advice and guidance. So whatever your subject area that you want to get involved in, we're here to give you that free advice and guidance. So next slide, please, Carly. So as you can see, we work out of Stockport now, just a bit of where we are. I don't know, some of you might see that building there and think I drive past that every day. We're just off the town centre as you're going up the hill at the back end of town centre where Debenhams used to be, on the right hand side in Kingsgate House. There's the areas I work on, floor 4 of that building there. Like I said, we're here to support you. It's your careers. You've got a lot of good choices coming in front of you today. We're one of them, and please pick up the phone. Like I say, I'll give you the information, and thank you very, very much for your time today. And I'll pass you back to Carly. Thank you.
Great, thanks very much, Dean. And Dean was, we were fortunate enough to have Dean join us for an event a couple of weeks ago for Greater Manchester Careers Week, and he kind of talked about it in a different format. So we looked at some end careers and how apprenticeships could help you meet those goals. So if anyone wants to check out some of those in videos, they're also on the Jobs Match website, starting with some of the career paths that apprenticeships are really, really instrumental in helping you break into. So thanks very much, Dean, for covering off some of those sectors and different routes that you can get into today. So next up, we've got the Apprenticeship Store, but I think that Sarah might be having trouble joining us. So Aaron, do you want to deliver Sarah's slides, or do you want us to move on and try and come back to Sarah later?
I think it might be best to move on and come back to Sarah later.
Yeah, no problem. So everybody close your eyes whilst I just skip through, and instead, if possible, we're going to come to Lola, who's going to be talking to us a little bit about apprenticeship. So spoiler alert, if you're seeing all of these Apprenticeship Store slides whizzing past your screen, we will revisit those as soon as we can get Sarah on the line this morning. And I'll just bring up those for Lola. So Lola, if you can get ready unexpectedly to jump on the call a little bit sooner this morning, and just pop your camera on for me, Lola.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can indeed, and I'll just switch you over now. So thanks very much for jumping the gun a little bit.
Thank you. Okay, Caroline, can I have the next slide? This is the total people slide. This is Manchester College and I'm Trafford College.
Okay, sorry, I'll bring up your next slide. If you want to start, Sarah, and I'll retrieve your slides and push them live as soon as I've got them. Apologies, we're a little bit out of sync this morning, so I'll just find those in the main deck. But if you could start regardless, that'd be fantastic.
Is that myself you want to start, or the other lady, Jane?
No, if you could start with yours and I'll just bring up your slides, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, hello, welcome to Trafford College. I'm part of the Trafford College group. The Trafford College group has expanded quite a lot in the last few years. We now are also on the Stockport campus. We have the STEM Centre down in Stratford, and we have the Altrincham campus as well. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, we also now have Cheadle and Marple, so we are hoping to sort of expand apprenticeships throughout that area. So a little bit of information that probably you've received quite a lot from previous attendees today around apprenticeships. My name's Lola Doherty and I've been with Trafford College now for probably 7 years. I look after apprenticeships in hospitality area and also in hair and beauty. So both the sectors that have been affected quite severely at the moment because of COVID, but we're seeing a massive resurgence of business and people looking to come into the industry. So it was quite interesting from my perspective as well to hear some of the slides from some of the former candidates around traineeships, because obviously we are very interested in traineeships, especially in those two areas and across the sectors in the college, especially probably in childcare and health and social care as well, because of the massive growth areas. Okay, Caroline, can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so how easy is it to get an apprenticeship? I think there's some myths and thoughts around this, that it's you'll go to school, you'll speak to your careers liaison person, and then you will be found an apprenticeship through the college. I think it's really important that for learners that they realise that that possibly isn't the case, that you are in quite a competitive market. And some of the slides from the previous candidates have shown you sort of like the areas where there are massive growths: engineering, construction, all of the STEM centre occupations. And so applying for an apprenticeship, it's really important that you know, make sure that your CV and everything that you're going to do, if you've done any voluntary work or if you've got any past work experience, that stands out and that an employer can see that you have got those skill sets and what they're looking for. So you do want your application to stand out. You will have to apply, as the previous candidate said, that you can do that through, we have our own recruitment service within the college as well that you can use, but also all jobs are advertised on the DAS, on the National Apprenticeship website. And also a lot are with some of the job centres as well, and also with some of the recruitment centres. Okay, so the process works is that the organisation will, we'll just go back one, sorry. The process is that the organisation who will come to me, so I've got plenty of employers at the moment who are trying to recruit especially in the hospitality sector, and they will come to me and they will ask, can they advertise with us? We will give them all the information that they need about taking on an apprenticeship and taking on a young apprentice, and what they will need to do to support you in the triangulated approach that we have to apprenticeships with employers and with yourself. And then that goes on to the national website that can be seen across all centres. All job vacancies have to go onto the apprenticeship website, so everyone can see that. You'll set yourself up an account to begin with, do that, and then you can apply for as many vacancies that you see that you're fitting for. Look at distance, look at ability to get there, and you know, really try and make your CV stand out amongst the others. Okay. We also obviously advertise on the college website as well, so you can see live vacancies there too. As a standard, everybody has to do English and maths. In certain areas, we will only accept a 4, depending on the course that you're going on to. Other areas, like some of my areas, we will accept a 3, but it's really important to understand that English and maths will be a vital part of that qualification. Wages, often ask this question. I think it's really important that people understand that quite often there is a £4.30 offer, but actually in my industries we find that that's not the case. Very rarely do employers offer that, and you know, apprenticeship wages can start at 17,000, 20,000. It just depends on sector and what area you're going to go into. Okay, next slide please, Caroline. Okay, benefits of an apprenticeship. Personally, I think that, you know, it's really important that apprenticeships are given frontline. You know, it should be the creme de la creme that going on to apprenticeships, and it should be the people that are really interested in earning and learning at the same time. But also it gives you absolutely incredibly quick, excellent career progression, because, you know, if you are standing there and you've done a level 2 qualification and you've worked in the industry for a year, you really stand out to a future employer if you're moving forward. You receive on-the-job training by industry professionals, and you know, everybody that works within the sectors within Trafford College are current and up to date with everything in their areas. There's a lot of apprenticeships to choose from all the different providers, not just ourselves, but also at Trafford we have a huge STEM centre, and our construction centre is also very good. We also have the hair and beauty offer with salons on all campuses apart from the Cheadle and Marple. We have a bespoke kitchen that has a real restaurant that is open as well for clients to come into, and that's really popular. Obviously COVID has affected that at the moment. Benefits of an apprenticeship. I'm sorry, I'm rushing because I'm conscious of time as well. High street discount card available for all apprentices. Yes, there's a discount card available which gives you 20% off. The big thing is the no student loan. You know, in all sectors there is natural career progression from level 2 all the way up to level 4, 5, and in some areas level 7. Having done that, you will progress, and I have got students that have started at level 2 who are now on their level 5 qualifications and are area managers. So that is a real natural progression, and none of their training has cost them anything whatsoever. So it's really important to understand that no student loan is the huge difference from what we've had in the past on the natural A-level progression route. Lots of career progression. Employers absolutely love people that have done an apprenticeship and gone through the ranks. In that way, you'll find a lot of the older engineering companies, very much the CEOs and senior members have come through the apprenticeship route back in the day themselves, and so they really do buy into the whole idea of training while you're working and developing the skills on site rather than just in a classroom. So we also have a wide range of qualifications. We run different models, so we do work-based only models, we also do day release models, we do block release as well. So, you know, we can bespoke that around the employer and the learners depending on what their needs are. 20% of the working week should be in training. So I think some of the other chats before have gone through that and explained what the 20% of the job looks like. But basically, if you're working 5 days rather, one of those days should be in training. As the chat previously said, we have our dedicated recruitment service. So you can basically ring them and they will give you advice and guidance around your CV, applying for the job, what it is that you might need to include in your application that you may have left out. And they will also try and job match you so that you're within a certain area or radius of that employer as well. We work with local employers. We work with lots and lots of different employers right across the Northwest. And we've got, you know, we do match to the right apprenticeship. It's got to be distance related and it's got to be able that you can get to work as well. We receive feedback from employers, so we have strong links with the people that we work with, and you know, motivate and give businesses a true investment and return. So yeah, I'm just reading that slide, which reads a bit odd. So okay, different levels of apprenticeships available. As people have said earlier, we've got level 2, which can run from 12 to 18 months. And for some cases now in hairdressing, they're 2-year programs, and in other areas in engineering, they're 2-year programs as well. So it very much varies now with the new standards. Again, then we can move on to the level 3. That can be 18 to 48 months, and it's equivalent to 2 A levels. Engineering, construction, manufacturing, professional studies, all of those areas, and hospitality and hairdressing as well is available at level 3. Higher apprenticeship at level 4, 5, 6 and 7, again 24 months, and equivalent to your foundation degree. At level 7, it's equivalent to your degree if you go all the way through that. Knowledge, skills and behaviour. Have you got the knowledge? Can you demonstrate the skills and can show that you're competent in that area in your behaviour? Next slide, please. Okay, so these are some examples of young people that have worked and come through the system with us. Freya still works for Kellogg's. She's now been promoted to a line manager. She came into engineering not knowing anything about it straight from school. She started and did her A-levels with us at first and then decided that she didn't really want to go to university. So then she thought, well, you know, where can I go? She lives very near Kellogg's. Kellogg's have a very committed training program for all of its young learners. So yeah, she's going from strength to strength, you know. Next step, CEO. That's what she said the last time we saw her. Again, Charlotte works for Trafford Council. She's now completed a Business 3, but she's now doing a CIPD. So she's moved into HR, and again, she's continued to move within the organisation. So another really good success story. Thank you. And again, Stacey did pharmacy. You can go on to do pharmacy at level 4. So these are just examples of the different sectors and areas that people can work from and how they can progress in their career. Not all of our apprenticeships are school leavers. Some are a little bit older, or some are the 19 plus, but you know, on the whole, they're mostly 16 to 19-year-olds. Okay, next one. So how to apply, you can visit our college websites and there'll be a link to apprenticeships. Select the sector that you're interested in working in. So they're all divided into different areas, construction, engineering, blah, blah, blah. Select an apprenticeship that you might be interested in, and apply. It will then take you to the Gov web page, directly straight to it. You set up yourself an account and then you're able to start to access any vacancies that you're interested in your area. Okay, you can ring the apprenticeship team on the number here, and you can also email them as well. If you have any questions, you can ring the team and the apprenticeship hub, and they will be able to get back to you with any information that you might require. Okay. And just an overview of our very stylish campuses that we have and what we have on offer. And that's it. Apprenticeship, that's more me. So that's our motto. Is it for you? And hopefully it is. Thank you.
That's great stuff. Thank you very much, Lola. And what I found particularly useful there was to see that slide breaking down the different levels of apprenticeships. I think sometimes it can be quite difficult for a young person to know how an apprenticeship equates to different levels of qualifications and what they're equivalent to when comparing them to other qualifications as well. So that was really, really useful to get a general overview of that. So thank you very much. And those stories as well about what people have gone on to, really, really useful to see firsthand the different career options that are open via apprenticeships. So we're slightly out of sync this morning, so we're going to jump back now to the Manchester College and hear from Joe and Jane talking to us a little bit about the benefits of apprenticeships and the career prospects that can take that onto. Joe, do you want me to come to you first? So just pull up your slides, or is it Jane going first?
Hi, Caroline. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put your full screen. Just bear with me whilst to bring up your slides because we're slightly out of sync. So here we go. If you just want to get started for us, it may take me a couple of minutes just to retrieve those.
No problem, that's fine. I'll get started. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Joe. I'm one of the school liaison coordinators here at the Manchester College. With me as well, we've got Jane from Total People. So we work in partnership with our apprenticeship providers. So I'll try my best not to kind of touch upon what previous presenters have talked about and try my best to touch upon something new while Caroline finds the slides. So a lot of the students that do go to the Total People and pursue the apprenticeship route, so for example, construction, engineering, automotive, a lot of the students do usually come over to the Manchester College as well and work alongside our tutors there. Sorry, I just forgot what I was going to mention then. So a lot of the students here do come over throughout all of our different campuses as well. For those of you that don't know, apprenticeships, it is a work-based route, okay, so you're not guaranteed an apprenticeship. So that's a lot of young people usually get confused with that. They usually think they're guaranteed an apprenticeship. So just to give you a heads up, an apprenticeship is like an actual job. You need to find the industry you're interested in, you need to find an employer, and then you need to apply for that. And then once you apply for it, the next stage is having an interview, okay? And then from the interview, you might be competing with, don't know, 20, 30, 40 different people, depending on the industry, depending on how popular it is. So again, you need to please bear that in mind. If you could go on to the next slide for me, please, Caroline. There we go. If you could just get all the points up for me, please. Thank you very much. So an apprenticeship is a real job with a real employer. So the easiest way I explain it to young people is you're working and learning at the same time. So a lot of you may think, you know what, I don't fancy being in a classroom, I don't fancy sitting down, I really want to get hands-on, and I definitely know I want to get into a certain industry. So examples, apprenticeships are very diverse now. So in the past, when I was in school, it was mainly construction, but now you can pretty much get into anything. So like the previous presenter from Trafford College gave examples of, you know, so many different industries, pharmacy, HR, marketing, computing, there's so much more. So if you definitely know what you want to get into and you want to take the work-based route where you want to earn a bit of money as well, so it's definitely the right career path to take. So just to give you an example, I know that it's £4.30 as a minimum wage at the moment for anyone under 18. So as you can see on the slide there, if 18 to 20 slightly increases, and then the age ranges as you get older, the minimum wage increases. So the best thing about apprenticeships is you get a qualification and you get the work experience. So what that means is it makes you very employable. So for those people that take the traditional college route, so let's take a specific example. Let's just say someone did hairdressing at college and someone took the apprenticeship route. So the person that did the apprenticeship, they've got more of them employability skills because they've been exposed to a real life working environment. They've dealt with clients, they've got their qualifications at the same time, and in that process as well, they've made some money as well. Whereas in the college-based route, you don't get paid. It's you attend possibly 3 to 4 days a week, depending on if you've got your master's in English as well. Another thing to bear in mind is you don't get all the school holidays. A lot of young people are quite surprised for those of them that take the apprenticeship route. You get the traditional 20 to 25 days, depending on the industry or the provider you go with. So please bear that in mind as well. So you sign a contract of employment. If you're late X amount of times, you get disciplinaries, and eventually, if you're not performing, there's a chance you know, you could get kicked out of that apprenticeship. So hopefully no one gets to that stage, but please bear that in mind as well. They usually range from 1 to 4 years. Again, this varies on industry and the career pathway you're thinking of pursuing. So, and you can get support from a training provider. So some people might decide to work with family members or people they know in a particular industry. If that is the case, please do get in touch with some providers, for example, Total People. If you do get in touch with us, we can have that conversation and see if we can support you with that. And thank you, Caroline. Next slide for me, please. Thank you. Thank you. So just a few points to consider before I pass it over to Jane. An apprenticeship is really, really good if you definitely know you want to get into a certain career or certain industry. You get the work and employability skills as well as your qualifications as well. I always say to young people in school, in secondary school, in sixth forms, as well as highly regarded your qualifications are, please try and get work experience as well, because it will make you more employable. An apprenticeship gives you opportunity for that as well. It makes you very employable. So point 2, can I become an apprentice? So now, if you're 16 to 66 years old, anyone can become an apprentice. So I can decide all of a sudden I want to change a career. I can go look for an apprenticeship and then take that and retrain. Point 3, 30 to 40 hours a week you might be working. So please bear that in mind. Again, this varies on the industry. This varies on the provider you get into. So just be prepared to work over 5 days. And like I mentioned, be prepared to take less holidays as well. And another point is also point 4, don't choose somewhere unrealistic. So things to consider: if you don't like working in the rain, if you don't like working in the cold, don't apply for construction or bricklaying where you're going to be outside and exposed to this environment. If you don't like sitting in an office and, you know, being on a computer all day, again, please consider it wisely and think about what you're going to enjoy and how can you get there. Also consider your grades. What are the requirements that certain industries are asking for? Are they asking for 5 GCSEs at grade 5 and above? Think about it realistically. Can you achieve that, or are you on the borderline of that? So always have a plan B as well. And finally, you will attend college at least half a day a week. So for those of you, if you do decide to study with Total People and do an apprenticeship with us, you will be attending Manchester College at least half a day or 1 day a week. With some of the other providers, it's a bit different. They might come out to you or might be completely work-based. I'll now pass it over to Jane, who will talk to you a bit more about the levels of apprenticeship.
Thanks, Joe. I can't see Jane on the call. Jane, are you here? Can you switch your camera on and give us a shout?
If you're not on the no problem. Just pass it over, Caroline, and I'll do it.
Great stuff. Thanks, Joe. We'll move on to the next one. I think we've got a little bit of animation on this slide, so it might take a while to come up. Reinforcing all of your points firsthand. There you go.
So you've had a good idea of the different levels. For a lot of school leavers, for example, if you're going into a new trade, you might go for a level 2, where you get all them hand skills and learn the trade, and then progress onto the different levels. Some of you might go on to level 3. So for example, certain advanced apprenticeships, where it's equivalent to A level. And then a lot of you might have heard as well, there's degree apprenticeships as well. That's something to consider later on. If you do take that route, the complete apprenticeship route, all the way up to a degree apprenticeship, the benefit is you don't have any student debt, you've got paid a salary, and again, you're very, very highly employable. And, you know, 99% of the time, the company or organization that's invested in you will keep you on. Okay, so I won't go too much into levels as other providers have gone into it. If you just go on to the next slide for me, please, Caroline. Okay, so the easiest way to find an apprenticeship is if you go on Google and just type in find an apprenticeship, and then it'll take you onto the National Apprenticeships website. You can narrow it down to postcode, certain industries, and whatever you think is relevant to you. You can find all the relevant ones. For those of you who don't drive, ideally you want to keep it within a certain mile radius so that it's easily accessible. However, that might limit the amount of opportunities that you have. So again, find an apprenticeship on Google. If you just type that in and follow the steps, it'll tell you all the live vacancies from across all the different organisations. That includes Total People and any other provider that's registered and that's got a live vacancy.
Hi Caroline, I am here.
Oh, there we go, Jane. I'll pass it over to Jane now, who'll tell you a bit more about Total People.
Oh, sorry, Jane, I was on mute. Can you turn your camera on? Thank you. I'll switch to you now. Thanks, Joe, for covering.
Thanks, Joe. So, yes, we are Total People. Sorry, can you hear me? I am coming across, am I?
Yeah, you are coming across absolutely fine. We've done the introduction and this is the slide that we're up to now. I'm just having trouble switching to you, but I won't be a second. Joe, if you can switch yours off and then I can move to Jane, please.
Thank you. So we are part of the LTE group, which encompasses the Manchester College, and Total People are the apprenticeship provider, so the business unit within that group. So as you can see, we deliver apprenticeships across quite a wide range of areas. So Cheshire, Greater Manchester, Lancashire, Stafford, Derbyshire, North Wales, and we were established in 2001. So we've been going now for around 20 years. We work with around 2,000 employers and currently have 6,000 learners with us. And our employer satisfactory rate is 95%. And at our last Ofsted inspection, we were graded 2. And we are consistently graded 2. So that puts us in one of the top 15% training providers in the country. And we have, as you can see, a really good success rate for our apprentices, with over 91% achieving their apprenticeship. So there's just a few little images there on some of the sectors that we do actually cover. So we have quite a range and diverse apprenticeships on offer. So we cover professional services, which encompasses, say, business admin, management, digital. And then we have the technical trades, which is obviously your carpentry and joinery, engineering, motor vehicle, creative sector. So that could be things like hairdressing, barbering, hospitality. So anything where you are creating something spectacular. And obviously we've got the health and social care. So that encompasses pharmacy, dental, health and social care. And like I say, you know, there are others that we do cover, so please visit our website because not all of them are listed on there. We do have sites all over the Northwest, and I know Joe has mentioned that we do work out of the Manchester College campuses as well. If you do achieve your apprenticeship, then you are fully supported by our learning coaches. So they will be your point of contact. They will give you regular support. Make sure that you are progressing through your actual apprenticeship training. And we also have a team, so I'm part of the recruitment team at Total People, and part of my role is, like some of the other training providers, to support people with your applications, help you create those CVs, link you with employers. And the ways that you can get in touch with us is through our website. So if I could have the next slide, please, Caroline. Sorry, oh, it's not on there, sorry. So we have at the bottom there, you can see our customer service number. That's the team who will put you in touch with ourselves, but there's also the inquiries inbox. If you email inquiries@Total People, ask them any questions and you'll be put forward to myself or somebody else in the team. And our website is displayed there as well. So totalpeople.co.uk. What you can do on our website is register your interest. That will then link you with one of the recruitment team, and we will call you within a couple of days and discuss all of your support requirements and support you going forward. Have those conversations, you know, around different vocational areas and what's going to be the best route forward for you. We are also on LinkedIn and Instagram and other pages as well. Thank you.
Great, thanks very much, Jane, for giving us a bit of a whistle-stop tour, and to yourself, Joe, too. If anyone wants to find out more about Total People and the courses that are available through the Manchester College, they can obviously go onto the Jobs Match website to find out the full details from there. So next, we're just going to cut back. We're running about 10 minutes behind schedule this morning. We're just going to cut back to Sarah at the Apprenticeship Store, who's going to tell us a little bit about how to apply for an apprenticeship, which I know we've touched on briefly this morning, but she's going to give us some really good insights. So I'll switch to Sarah now, and it'll just take me a couple of moments to bring up your slides, Sarah. So if you could get started for us, that'd be great.
Yep, so hi everybody, apologies for the technical disturbance earlier. I'm hoping it should go without cutting out. My name is Sarah Hurden and I work for Stockport's Apprenticeship Store. So we're part of Stockport Council. We work very closely with the Education and Careers Advice Service, and our role is basically to provide information, advice, support around apprenticeships. That's for potential apprentices, parents, carers, employers, anyone basically. Any questions you have, you can get in touch with us. And today I'm here to talk you through applying for an apprenticeship. We're going to be touching on some things, including the Find an Apprenticeship website, which you've seen a few times now, but also some different routes into apprenticeships, including approaching employers and approaching training providers like the ones we've seen here today. And we're going to end with some more useful websites, including the wonderful Stockport Jobs Match, which again has been mentioned a few times throughout today. So if we could have 2 slides forward, please. Brilliant. So I've got a couple of screenshots here from the Find an Apprenticeship website. The quickest way to get into it is just to go on Google and make sure it's Google and not Bing, because Bing brings up some weird things, and just type in Find an Apprenticeship and you'll find the government's website. The idea is that this website has all of the nation's vacancies on it. In reality, it's a bit different, but you will find a lot of vacancies there, and there's lots of different ways you can search for them. So you can see the smaller shot there on the right hand side. That is the keyword search. So sometimes it can be really straightforward. If you're looking for example, a plastering vacancy, you might type plasterer in, you put your location, the distance, and you can search it there. For some vacancies, you might not know the search terms, or the search engine might not be bringing up any results. As you can see, next to where it says search, there's also a browse button. If you click on that, it will bring up the screenshot on the left-hand side, and that will let you browse how many vacancies are in the different sector areas. For example, agriculture, horticulture and animal care, or perhaps leisure, travel and tourism. There's a few different options you can choose from. So if you're not sure what to search for, you want to see what's out there, or your searches aren't bringing up any results, you can use those to search. It's important when you're putting in your location and the distance travelled that you make sure that it's actually somewhere you can get to, and don't discount further away. So for example, from where I am in Stockport, I'd put 10 miles because that'll cover Manchester. Some places that are closer to me, like Cheadle, would be much harder for me to get to, so just bear that in mind. You can also see on the search and the filter on the left hand side here that you can search for vacancies by disability confident. I'll be talking a bit more about this on Thursday, but basically that will show employers who've achieved disability confident checkmark to say they're happy and confident employing people with disabilities. Just because someone doesn't have one doesn't mean that they aren't, but it is a good filter to start with if you have a disability yourself. When you've done your search, you'll have vacancies like this come up. So I searched here business, and then I clicked more or less detail to include the apprenticeship level and the apprenticeship wage. So my colleagues earlier have covered that there's a range of different levels for apprenticeships. Often you'll see school leavers going into level 2 or level 3, so that's intermediate or advanced, and college leavers, they might be going to something a bit higher, including an up to degree apprenticeships. When you get your search through, you'll have the title of the apprenticeship, it'll tell you the employer, it'll tell you how far away it is, where it is, and a few more details, including the wage. Make sure when you're planning your apprenticeship search that you take the wages into account, because that might be something that could affect your rent, your bills and things like that. Budgeting is a great skill regardless of how old you are. If you click into the vacancies, you'll see what we've got here. So it'll show you your annual wage, your working week, the length, and just some more details, and lower down it will show you your requirements. Again, it's important to match these to your own skills and strengths and to use it to find not just what you want to do, but as someone said earlier, what you don't want to do. So make sure you go into those and you read all about it. In the top right, there's a green button. You sign in to apply, and you either apply through the Find an Apprenticeship website or through an employer website. Next slide, please. Cool. So if you were applying through Find an Apprenticeship, they'll ask you certain questions and you might need some CV information, for example, your education provider. Some, however, you'll apply through the employer's website. And like I said, the Find an Apprenticeship website doesn't have everything, so it's important to check some employer sites. There are some really good ones locally, including the local NHS one, Tireless Group, BBC. So make sure that you do check those and you can sign up for updates as well. You can see, for example, in the NHS jobs website, I've got a little filter there and you can search by apprenticeships. The way that employers work is it could be any number of things. You might need a CV. You might have an assessment to do, an online assessment. You might have a group interview or a regular interview. Could be all sorts of different things. This is just an example from local Tireless Group of how they recruit their apprentices. It involves an online application form, game-based assessment, a telephone interview for some roles, and an assessment centre. So please be aware that, like we said before, apprenticeships are real jobs, and that means there are real interview processes involved. So make sure that you've done your research and that you're prepared. Next slide, please. You'll also learn today how you can find apprenticeships through approaching training providers themselves. If you register with local ones, you can be kept in the loop with their updates, and you can find their contact details, application forms via their websites or via the directory on Stockport Jobs Match. For example, I've got a screenshot here from local training provider CETA, so Stockport Engineering Apprenticeships. This is a really good tool when you're looking for training providers to see if you can find some locally. It's run by GMLPN, Greater Manchester Learning Provider Network. If you go on their website, you can find this search engine. It will show you all of the all of the providers offering certain apprenticeships within the Greater Manchester area. Next slide, please. This is just some top tips from myself and my colleague Erin. Think about your skills and strengths and make sure you ask around, because other people might have a completely different view and they might be able to shed some light on where your strong points are. Make sure you've got someone who can help you proofread your applications for content and spelling and grammar. Do your research on the role, but also on the employer themselves, so you can say why you want to work there, why you want to do that. And remember, any work experience or volunteering you can get helps you stand out. Next slide, please. So, just got some useful websites here. There's the National Apprenticeship Service, we've got a Greater Manchester Apprenticeship Service, there's some information on the council website. There's also some brilliant careers guides on the Stockport Jobs Match website. You can also use the NHS careers site if you're interested in a medical or health related apprenticeship or career. Institute for Apprenticeships, which a colleague touched on earlier, that explains a bit more about the different apprenticeships that are out there. And if you need to get in touch, if you've got any questions, here's some more places to look. So you've got the Find an Apprenticeship website we touched on, again, the Stockport Jobs Match, but this time the search. Greater.jobs is for searching for council vacancies, including local authority apprenticeships. Not Going to Uni, the NHS Jobs Portal and the BBC Jobs Portal, just because I've mentioned those employers before. And if you have any questions or anything like that, you can get in touch with us via apprenticeships@stockport.gov.uk, or you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Sarah. That was really, really insightful. A bit of a whistle-stop tour of how to find apprenticeships and some of the great resources that we've got available. So thank you very much for that, and neatly and nicely delivered as well. Very, very slick. So next we're going to be switching to Janet at Stockport and Trafford College Group to talk to us a little bit about school leaver programmes. So I'll switch you over to Janet now. Just bear with me whilst I bring up your slides. But if you want to get going for us this morning to get us back on track time-wise, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, so my name's Janet Kimber and I'm a School Liaison Officer for Stockport College. So my role is I go out into schools, visit the pupils, and I give them more information about Stockport College. But firstly, I'd like to share with you some exciting news. You may already know that Stockport College is part of the Trafford College Group. Very recently, on the 4th of May, Trafford College Group has now merged with the Cheadle and Marple College Network, and this is to create the largest education provider in the Stockport region. At Stockport College, we specialise in vocational qualifications, T-levels and apprenticeships. So this means our students benefit from industry standard facilities and high quality technical and professional training, so you can develop the skills you need to take you to university or straight into the world of work. So during this week, my colleagues are covering apprenticeships and T-levels in other presentations. So today I will focus on vocational courses in college in general. So this slide, we're going to show a short video that showcases some of our great facilities. Caroline, yeah, if you press play on this, the video should just play.
Yeah, we're struggling a little bit with the audio on that this morning, Janet, so we might need to just pop the link on for people to come back to and watch later, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so if you want to just go to the next slide. Okay, so this is about World Skills UK. Now, World Skills, we're the only college in Greater Manchester to be part of the World Skills UK Centre of Excellence, and this is in partnership with NCFC. So this means our students have access to all-class training from industry experts. So there are only 20 colleges nationwide who've been awarded this status, and World Skills train and mentor our staff to embed world-class practices and techniques in the teaching, learning and assessment practices, and our students achieve national and international recognition for their work. Okay, next slide, thank you. So what is a vocational course? So this is one of the questions I get asked the most when I'm out in schools visiting pupils. So a vocational course provides specific job-related training and qualifications. Vocational qualifications, unlike academic, are practical and hands-on. So they give you the skills needed to enter your chosen career. Assessment is a combination of practical and written coursework with some exams. Work experience is embedded into your programme. For some courses there'll be a work placement. A level 3 vocational course is an alternative and equivalent to studying A-levels, which means you can go directly into the world of work or progress onto a higher course at university. So the next slide is going to show a list of all the vocational courses that we do, and you can see there's an impressive range of courses. So there's beauty therapy to business, childcare to construction trades, media to motor vehicle, and many, many more. As you can see, they're all linked to a career. It's important to remember you just choose one subject. So unlike A-levels where you would normally choose 3, and a list of A-levels would be very different. It would have the subjects that you're studying at school currently, like history, your geography. And we also offer an excellent full-time GCSE programme, and this is for students who's marginally missed their grades. So next slide, please. So work experience and employability skills. So all our courses lead to job opportunities, and we have to ensure the content of our courses are relevant to the workplace. So in order for this to happen, our tutors are industry professionals and work with employers, so techniques and skills are the same as in the workplace. Our partner employers offer jobs, work experience and apprenticeships. They also frequently come into college to deliver workshops, demonstrations and talks. Okay, so next slide please. So this slide shows some of our workshops, and you can see that they're all equipped with the latest technology. So Stockport College has industry standard workshops across all areas. Our workshops replicate what it would be like to work in industry. We have excellent facilities for all construction, engineering and motor vehicle. Here's our hairdressing and beauty salons. So our students get to practice the skills they've learned on actual paying clients. These clients book appointments to have their hair done, nails and lots of other beauty treatments. So the next slide shows our entry criteria. So we've got a wide range of different levels you can study. So wherever you are in your learning journey, there is a course for you. Which level you start will depend on how many GCSEs graded 4 to 9 you achieve and the skill level of the course required. It's worth aiming for 4 or above in English and Maths whilst at school, or you need to retake them at college until you achieve a 4 or above. Okay, next slide. So student life at Stockport College. So at Stockport College, we'll help you develop your confidence and learn new skills. There's lots of opportunities for you to get involved in, from trips and visits to being on our student council. You can also sign up to be a student ambassador and help out with college events. So the next slide shows our student representatives, and they voice the opinions of students across the college. So here's our students from our College Equalities Council, with the recently re-elected Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, and it just shows that they've got a platform to express their views on local and national issues. Okay, so the next slide is about the support at Stockport College. So we have an excellent team who are here to support you whatever you need. So we have transition officers who can support your transition from school to college. Alongside the course tutors, all areas have a team of learning facilitators and mentors who can help with study skill support, specialist assessment, and support and assistive technology to ensure you succeed with your studies. So the next couple of slides are really exciting because Stockport College is having a £23 million campus redevelopment. So this will give our campus new state-of-the-art learning facilities and provide a more welcoming environment for staff, students and visitors. So this one shows a new courtyard which provides an open space, giving a better campus experience. We'll be able to reduce running costs through new plant and sustainability measures, new business centres to attract investment and funding through close links to local businesses. The next slide shows our construction students, and they were lucky enough to be able to visit the development, and the developers let our students visit the work that's going on. It helps our students experience what actually working on an actual site is like. So the next slide is how to apply. So you can apply online by visiting our website. So all our courses are listed under school leavers. You can just click on the course. If you want to apply, you just click on the link. Okay, and there's a lot more information about each of the courses on there. Our next open event now will be a virtual one, and it'll be on Saturday the 19th of June. Further details will be on our website, so if you can go to stockport.ac.uk, there'll be information there on how you can register. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. Thanks so much for listening, and hopefully I'll be able to see you at college soon. Okay, thank you.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Janet. So next this morning, we're going to be switching over to Reseaheath College to tell us a little bit. Oh, seem to have cut out because Janet's turned her screen off a little bit soon. Just bear with me 1 second whilst I bring the next presenter up. We are still here. We are still live. We just lost audio for a little minute. So yeah, next we're going to come to Jackie and Angela at Reseaheath College, who are going to be telling us a little bit more about what's on offer at Reseaheath and also a little bit about work placements as well. So I'm going to bring you two up. Who wants to go first?
There's only me on today. Angie's on tomorrow.
Brilliant, great stuff. I'll switch over to you, Jackie. Just start your presentation. Slides will be with you in a second.
Okay. Yeah, like Caroline says, my colleague Anne, she'll be on tomorrow. She's going to be talking more about the FE. My role is in the apprenticeship team, so learner recruitment and engagement. I say I work at Reseaheath. I've been there 5 years. I've been in apprenticeships many years now, 15 years or so, and love it. And I think seeing your learners, seeing the students go through the from the start right through to training, and being an assessor at one point as well, it's lovely to see the learning journey. Anyway, Reseaheath College, it is one of a leading specialist land-based college in Cheshire. We have international reputation. Our latest Ofsted inspection confirmed that we continue to be a good college with outstanding facilities. We have really strong links with employers. Again, it's been able to, those skills and knowledge in the industry that's all sort of linked together, and like I say, those links are really great and important, obviously. We have some great specialist facilities, and the resources in the sort of in the country. We've just continuing, so we've spent and continuing to spend £80 million, which has gone into the campus, and then this has just gone into sort of cutting edge technology, the specialist training facilities. Are we on the next slide? Have we lost the slides? Don't worry. Right. So our spread, so we've got learners all over the country basically. When the slides come back up, you'll see this just as a little map. Currently working with 1,500 apprentices and work-based learners. There we go. The next one, please. Perfect. Okay, so all those little dots are employers and learners that we're working with. They are sort of a lot of national programs there, so we're working with learners, and we've got students over in Ireland, the Isle of Man. These are mainly sort of big engineering companies, so we work with a lot of big dealerships, Class, Case New Holland, and then with more local, we've got sort of 24 bus routes that come in around Cheshire, so sort of a 50-mile radius really. And you know, if it's something you are thinking of, we've got all the transport information on the web page. Next slide, please. Okay, so who can do an apprenticeship? An apprenticeship can, as long as you're over 16 years of age and over, you need to be living in England and not in full-time education. An apprenticeship, what is an apprenticeship? An apprenticeship, I think people have already covered this, but it is a real job where you work and learn at the same time, hands-on experience, and you'll be receiving a salary. So you'll have a contract of employment. And you're also going to be gaining those qualifications whilst you work. You will be treated just like any other employees. So with a contract of employment, you're going to get paid the salary and you're going to be entitled to all the statutory benefits such as holiday and sick pay. You'll be given responsibilities, so real responsibilities within the workplace, and you'll be going to be working towards that package of qualifications alongside your job. You will spend at least 20% of your time completing off the job training at college. This is usually sort of one day, if it's a one-day day release programme, or it could be a block of training. So some of our engineering learners sort of come in for 3 weeks at a time. The Apprenticeship Standards currently that we have, oh, can we go back? That's it. Currently on offer, so I'm not going to read them all, but you can see there's a good, you know, and they're hands-on, these qualifications. We are land-based, so a little bit different than some other colleges. So animal care, construction, equine groom. There's a few pathways within the food there. We've got butchery, bakery, food and drink operatives and technicians. And all of these range from level 2 going right through to level 3. We do offer some of the food. We work with Arla, and their dairy technologists is a level 5 programme. Next slide, please. How long is it going to take you? So usually it would take between 1 and 4 years to complete an apprenticeship. This depends on what level you're actually doing. So level 2 is typically 12 to 18 months, and if you were doing a level 3, you would say up to 3 years, plus an endpoint assessment. So next slide, please. So I'm not going to go into too much detail with this because other people have already done it, but the main way I would sort of say, and like other people have already said, that it is the Gov site. So find an apprenticeship, www.gov, and you know the apply. So you go in, you make that profile. So it's free. It is a free service. You create your account and then you go into those searches. Was it Sarah that said, I think, beforehand? And if you follow those steps, it will sort of take you through to what you're looking for. From Reseaheath, if you wanted to go into onto the Reseaheath web page, that also links through. So if you went into apprenticeships, live vacancies, and that little map came up with all those little red dots on that we saw previously, you would be able to sort of click on those, and our live vacancies, so the ones that we're working with, are currently there. It will take you through to this main site, the government site. So it can be quite competitive to obtain an apprenticeship. You know, you're after a job at the end of the day, and on average there could be around 11 applicants for every apprenticeship job, sorry, get my mouth right. How can you apply sort of things that you need to make yourself stand out? So, you know, what skills, what's going to really make you stand out? You know, identify yourself, and certainly be sort of doing a bit of research, finding out about the employer. You know, go onto their webpage and get a bit of information, because if you are called up for interview, you'd be able to sort of use that, and it would be a positive. And also, when you're doing these applications, just check your spellings, your grammar, show your passion. You know, it's a job you're going for, so do what you can to stand out. That's all I'm going to say. Next slide, please. So the application process, how does it work? So it normally happen, we work very closely with the employers, so it's the employers that contact us and say they're looking for an apprentice. So they ask us to advertise their vacancy for them. So this is where it's on our webpage, and it's also linked to the government site. Once the applicants sort of come through, we send them over to the employer. The employer then sort of sifts through them, and any suitable ones, or that, you know, sort of suit that what they're looking for, they would be calling and asking for you to either go to, at the minute they're probably virtual still, but some kind of interview or a working trial, and then hopefully you'll get an offer, and then that's where we step in, and that's my role of getting the application, the college application sorted and moving it forward to the initial assessment. So we'd just be having a look at where you're at with some maths and English, and you'd have an interview with one of our skills coaches following that. Again, this has been touched before this morning, so where the jobs are advertised, you know, there's different places to have a look, and certainly on employer websites, that's a good place to start. So the application process, I've just said, you know, you need to prepare your employer application, you would then submit it, you would attend an interview with that prospective employer. Hopefully you would get that, you know, that offer. So then you move to the next bit, where you would submit a college application form. You would attend an assessment centre and complete some online maths and English. You would undergo then a telephone interview. At the minute, they are telephone interviews. It could be face-to-face from one of our skills coaches, and they would also do a skill scan, so just to see if you've got any of those skills that are needed for the job. And on sort of after that, we would sort of need proof of those GCSEs as well, that anything that you've got achieved, or your predictions. Okay, thank you. Next slide. There's a lot of information there, but basically, if you aim for your C's and 4s, GCS 4s, you will not have to do any maths and English alongside your apprenticeship. If, however, you are, you know, don't get quite what you want, we have a functional skills team, and we are able to work with you to sort of work towards a functional skill level 2. So for majority of the apprenticeships, at the end, when you take your endpoint assessment, which is an exam, you would have at least sat a level 2 functional skill. So that's where you would be aiming for. Okay, thank you. Next slide. So just a little bit, why be an apprentice? I fully believe in them. So you're going to achieve your career goal. You will be in paid employment whilst you're training. Professional qualifications, that's what you know, you're sort of going to be working to get at the end. You're going to be real jobs. Employment perspectives, that, you know, that says it all. I think 90% of apprentices stay in employment, so that's fantastic. There are no limits, so from farming to veterinary nursing, these are just some of our courses. Currently on the Institute for Apprenticeship service or site, there are 599 ones that are sort of working are approved, and there are many more sort of in development as well. You're going to be getting those transferable skills, improved employability through real work experiences. So, you know, you're in the workplaces, so should it be that you go for a job afterwards, you've already got those skills. Career progression, so like I've mentioned before, level 2s right up to, we do level 3s, level 5s, and they go right through now to degree levels. So there's real big scope there. And just some of the employers that we work with, sort of JCB, Chatwins, Vets for Pets, there's hundreds, but they are sort of big names that stand out. Next slide, please. And just really, stay in touch. We've got lots of information on, courses, or the courses. There's videos on YouTube that you can go in and look. On the farm, we've just, been through lambing, so there's some fantastic lambing videos on there. If it's farming you're interested in. Like I say, we are a very specialist college, a little bit different, but please, yeah, do stay in touch and follow us. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much, Jackie. That was really, really useful. And I would just echo that. If anyone wants to find out more about Reseaheath, a really good starting point is to go and have a look at some of the videos on their website about what a fantastic campus it is and all of the different things that can offer you. So thanks very much for coming on today, and apologies for the delay in your slides. We got there in the end. We've got such a lot of presenters on the call this morning, keen to tell you as much as possible about apprenticeships and traineeships. Remember that this is a live event, even though some of you may be watching it back on YouTube, so please bear with us. We've got a couple more presenters up this morning. Next, we're going to go to Pure Innovations to talk to us a little bit about supported internships. We've got Nadia and Neil on the call today. Which one of you is going first, guys?
I'm going first, Caroline.
Fantastic. Here you go, Neil. I'll switch across to you now and I will just bring up your slides.
Thank you very much. My name's Neil Willows. I'm the Assistant Internship Contracts Managers for the supported internships. So today we're going to talk to you about, I'm going to talk about supported internships. My colleague Nadia is going to talk about supported employment. Have the next slide, please, Caroline. So the supported internships, they are for young people aged 16 to 24. That's not the slide. The supported internships are for young people aged 16 to 24 that's got an educational healthcare plan, and they're their ideal bridge between education and looking or going into employment. And it's for young people with a learning or physical disability that just needs that little bit of extra support so they can showcase their talents to learn employability skills. So Pure have 11 supported internship sites across Greater Manchester. I'll just explain a little bit about them. There's my slides coming up, Caroline.
Yeah, they're on the way. Apologies,
okay.
Everything just crashed and it's just reloaded. 2 seconds and we'll be back with you.
That's great. So yeah, there's 11 internship sites across Greater Manchester, and each of those are based with a local education provider. So there's Pure Innovations, a college, and it's based with a large host employer. So when the slides come up, I can show you where we are based. We've had supported internships now for the last 11 years. We've got the longest internship is based at the MRI the hospital in Manchester. We've got internships at Media City. We've got an internship at Manchester Airport, Fairfield Hospital in Bury, Steppenhill Hospital in Stockport. So there's a wide range. And the aim of the course is that the people can try 3 different work rotations while they're there, but they are supported by an employment officer, a job coach, and a tutor. So I'll just wait for the slides to come up. Hopefully they won't be long now. So we need to go back, and that's near the end of the presentation. Okay. So the intern is further back. That's it, that's great, thank you. So just a little bit about Pure, who Pure are and what we do. We support people with disabilities in the following way. We've got day services, supported employment contracts, which we're going to talk about 2 of them today, internships from myself and supported employment from Nadia. We do independent travel for young students with disabilities. We've got a wellbeing network, training and community projects. We're a charity for looked after children. So we've got a sister charity called Pure Insight, but we have prioritised our focus to be on young people. So next slide, please, Caroline. So as I said, we've got 11 supported internship sites across Greater Manchester. And as you can see, they're listed on there. So we've got the host employer. We're based with a large host employer. We've got Manchester Foundation Trust, MFT. So that's the hospital in Greater Manchester. And the education provider there you can see on the other side, which is the Manchester College. We've got an internship with Manchester City Council, so Salford Royal Hospital, Trafford General Hospital, the airport, Media City are at Stepping Hill, Wythenshawe, Salford University, and we've got a brand new one, the digital internship. Now, even though a lot of them are based in hospitals, this is about learning employability skills with a wide variety of work placements. If you want to apply for an internship, you apply via the college and you do it on their website. Okay, next slide, please. So, supported internship, it's a tri-sector partnership. As I've said there, we've got a large host employer and they provide us with a classroom on site. They assign a project champion. So we've got somebody who works in the business that supports us. They embed it alongside other employability initiatives, and they provide a large variety of work placements and look for if there are potential for paid opportunities so the young people can showcase your talent and perhaps turn that work placement into a working interview. That picture there, by the way, is of our internship at Manchester Airport. That's at the graduation event. So the local education provider, in that case at the airport, that's the Manchester College. They deliver the employability qualification, which I'll explain about how the model works a little bit later on. And they do the pastoral support and safeguarding. There's tailored support in the classroom that's very much work focused around employability skills and English and maths as appropriate. You don't need a certain qualification to get on the internships, it's just wanting to work. And the supported employment provider, which is ourselves, we support both the employer and the intern, the young person on the course. We identify the work placements by doing a thorough job analysis and look at job carving, which I'll talk about a little later about job carving. We do specialist training, not only for yourselves, but for the employer as well. And then we're looking for paid outcomes, either with a large host employer or externally with different employers. And once you're in employment, we continue to support. So the next slide, please, Caroline. Just gone back. Could you go back one, please? Or was that? I'm sorry, no, that's my fault. Apologies, Caroline. So that's just some of the employers that we work with. So not only with the NHS or large host employees, we do go external, like with Morrison's, the Co-op, etc. Next slide, please. So what does it look like? So as I said, we've got 11 sites. The course is 4 days a week and it's based with a large host employer Monday to Thursday. The classroom sessions are each morning with a large host employer, normally about an hour, 9 till 10 o'clock. And then you go out on placement between 10:30 to 2:30, and it follows the academic year, and you can try 3 different jobs throughout the year. So as you can see there, September to Christmas, you do your first work placement, and then you have a second work placement, and then the final work placement between April and June. But before you start, we get to know you, profile you, look at what you're interested in, so we try and get a good job match, and we have a wide variety of placements. So if something doesn't work out for somebody, we can move you around. But you are treated as an employee and you work alongside and learn from your colleagues and managers. And ourselves, we meet with every department to ensure the project operates smoothly. And because we're on site, we can put the appropriate levels of support in. If things don't work out quite right, we can soon get in there and adjust it. And there's regular progress monitoring and reviews. And we do support you if you want a paid job. And that's your aim. It's not right for everybody, but if you do want a paid job, we'll support you into that route and support you once you're in paid work. Next slide, please, Caroline. So the model, as I said, it runs Monday to Thursday, and there's a tutor on site, an employment officer and a job coach. The large host employer, for that first rotation between September and Christmas, that's where we set the standard and people get used to going to work, getting to work on time, what it means. We test your capability and then we know what adjustments are required to further support you. So once we get to the second rotation, there's some flexibility with work hours. So you might have somebody working in the cafe that's doing a fantastic job on placement, and there's a job coming up, but we need to see how you perform working at the weekends or start early in the morning. So there's some flexibility with work placement hours, so we can adjust those and just see how you can cope when it's busy and maybe turn that into a working interview. But by the time we get to the third rotation, we've normally worked out an exit progression strategy. So those people that have moved into work or have been offered a job, that's great, we can support. And those that it's not right, paid work's not right, we can look at suitable alternatives. And all those interns there that you can see in the picture was from Active Tameside, and every one of those young people progressed into work. So I think that's something to be celebrated. Next slide, please. And the development, so while you're on the placement, as I mentioned, I do a job analysis so you know what's expected. And we do evidence progression, we monitor, and if you're stuck on anything, we work with you to overcome any sticking areas, things that you might be struggling with, so that you can work independently. And we use something called TSI, which is Training in Systematic Instruction. We do regular monitoring, goal setting, and we do observation and assessment records to progress you. And then we do placement reviews, and that's with yourself, the manager and the key staff. We do that halfway through the placement, and we have that meeting with the line manager who can make a decision about a paid job. There is a film there which we won't show now, but it's one of our interns on placement at Media City, which you may be interested to see. Next slide, please. So I mentioned earlier about job carving. So people do progress into full-time employment or part-time, but we do job carving where we create roles with a large host employer that may not exist. So a good example here is Tom, who was on our internship back in 2014. He's got cerebral palsy affecting his right side, and he has very limited verbal communication. And when he started, he had very little belief in himself. He did his first rotation in the cafe at Salford Royal Hospital, but the second rotation we carved a role for him in the portering department. And what it was just going around collecting the empty cylinder gas bottles around the hospital. And once those cylinders are on site, it costs the hospital money. By him just going around collecting them, and the money that the trust was getting back through returning the bottles more than paid for his role. So they offered him a job. He worked 6 hours a week, which for him, that was perfect. So for not everybody, it's not always about full-time work. He worked 6 hours a week spread over 2 days. He's still there now, and he's openly said it changed his life. So he's going there to work, he's meeting people, he's part of a team, and as I say, he's getting out of the house twice a day. So that's an example of job carving. Thank you. So I'll hand over to Nadia now to talk about supported employment. Thank you.
Right. Thanks very much, Neil. That was fantastic. If I can just ask you to switch your camera off so we can switch over to Nadia, that'd be brilliant. And Nadia is going to tell us a little bit more about Pure in general. So I'll pop you on now, Nadia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I'm the Transitions Employment Officer, and I sit within the Stockport SMBC employment team. So as an employment officer, my focus is on supporting individuals from the ages of 16 to 25 into supported employment. So here at Pure, we can support if you have any of the following: learning disability, mental health issue, or autism. Are you okay to go to the next slide, Caroline, please? So just a quick summary of the project. All clients must want to gain paid employment, so whether that's full-time, part-time, and be over the age of 16. So clients from the ages of 16 to 18, they must have an educational healthcare plan, and any clients which are over the age of 18 need to be referred through by adult social care or a community mental health team, and must be living within the SK postcode 2. So we provide a very person-centered support to each individual. So we would spend 6 weeks profiling the client, building their confidence, their trust, upskilling them in areas which they'd like to improve. So Our experienced employment team offers a bespoke service. So what we'd do is we'd work to identify the best job for the client. So we'd take in their likes and dislikes and kind of explore their strengths and weaknesses. We'd help prepare their CV, interview prep. We'd also help them with the application process. We also do something called a better off calculation and provide advice on benefits and what financial support is available out there. And also what we try and do is get them a working interview where they can show off their skills. And we'd also focus on their well-being by getting them involved in, you know, different hobbies and activities that they like, social distance walks. And the good thing about profiling is it enables us to best match them to specific job roles, or even looking to carve in a job for them in a suitable organisation. We also provide initial job coaching if required, and also an access to work job coach can be applied for if further support is needed down the line. This does include travel training, and we do keep in touch with both client and the employer after, just to check up on how things are going on and see if there's any developments or any more reasonable adjustments which can be put into place. Next slide, please. So this is just a timescale guide. So once the client is referred, they will be contacted for an initial meeting within 5 days of referral and informed of the service, and this is where suitability will be established. The referrer will receive confirmation regarding this, and a meeting will be set up within 2 weeks time frame, and after that, that's when the profiling starts. Next slide, please, Caroline. So this is just the supported employment model. So the values of traditional supported employment alongside the National Occupational Framework together form our detailed quality assurance process, just for you guys to have a look at. Next slide, please. So yeah, thank you so much. I didn't include our social media links, but we are on Facebook and we are also on Twitter. So you can check out some of the stories and the case studies of some of our clients. And if you've got any further questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with Pure. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't unmute myself then. First rate technical error. Thank you very much to Nadia and Neil for giving us an overview of supported internships this morning. We've got 2 more quick presentations to come. Next up, we're going to be hearing from Uma from National Careers Service. So thank you very much for switching your schedule around this morning to be able to join us, Uma. And she's going to give you a little bit of an overview as to how National Careers Service can help you explore some of your career options after apprenticeships. Thanks, Uma.
Hello, hi, my name is Uma. I'm the service manager for the National Career Service First Contact team in the Northwest. To give you a brief introduction about what we do, National Career Service is an impartial, free, independent service to support anyone from the age of 13 to move into employment, training, develop skills, explore career options, identify right courses, explore some funding options, all of those to help you to work towards your career goals, not just for now, but also for the long term to help you plan those things in future and see if your ideas and your goals are achievable, sustainable, and find ways to do it together. If we can move to the next slide, there would be a short video that would explain what we do, and we'll come back again.
Uma, some of the sound isn't working on the video this morning, so what we're going to do is we're going to share the links afterwards, and people can pop on and watch that.
All right, okay, so yeah, so we'll probably pause that and I'll just talk a bit more about what we do then. So we work with anyone, like I said, from the age of 13, but with the young people from the age of 13 to 18, if you're on full-time education, we work with you offering digital support and services, which means you'll be able to get in touch with us via social media, through web chat, via email, or through the 0800 number. So the face-to-face appointments are available for anyone over the age of 18, and if they're not in full-time education though. But that doesn't mean that you don't get personalized support. It would all be tailored personalized support to suit your needs and where you want to go. So we understand, irrespective of age, everyone would like to know what their skills are, identify what career paths they want to choose, identify the right job for themselves. So that's where our careers, experienced and qualified careers advisors come in to help you understand your skills, your strengths, your personal qualities using various career tools, and also support you with identifying those pathways to help you reach your career goals as well. When you're young, obviously you've got your regular academic qualifications, academic way of studying, your vocational and apprenticeships, but obviously when you are 18 plus, more opportunities may come your way, more funding opportunities would come your way too. So we'll try and explore what is available for you, best suitable to your needs, and signpost you to the right direction. We also work with you to help you access those opportunities that are available by doing those application forms with you, giving you interview, mock interview, training, anything of that sort really. If we can move to the next slide, please. So when it comes to understanding what options are out there, I'm sure you've heard over the last hour or so about, lots of valuable information around apprenticeships, training routes, vocational qualification, all of those things. But it's important to also know where these are available, if it is going to be suitable for you, what sort of a time frame it's going to take, how does that fit with your overall career goals, and is there an alternate way of working, because everybody's learning styles are different, needs are different, and where they want to go, that is different. So we will help you with to help you make those informed decisions by providing these options, and you can decide for yourself. We'll just show you go into our website briefly to show you some of the tools that we work with, but obviously that is the link, Caroline, there. Is that working? You're on mute, Caroline, sorry.
Sorry, I wasn't aware that you wanted to go to the website, Uma. So again, I'll bring that up in a second. I'll get that going in the background. So we'll come to that towards the end of your presentation, if that's where you want to go to next. Apologies.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, no problem. So you would see when you go onto our website, you'll see some of the tools. One of those is called Skills Health Check, which you would be able to use in your own time. It's kind of a psychometric test that will help you to understand what your strengths are, what your weaknesses, what areas you want to work around, and in line with what sort of career and job profiles you want to work in. You will also notice that we have over 700 job profiles. So job profiles are basically what sort of jobs are available and how it's different between every sector. So for example, working an administrative role in civil service is vastly different to working in an administrative role in a bank, in which case you would need to know what are the entry requirements, what are the employers looking for, where these jobs are available. So such sort of informations are available on the job profiles. Obviously, if you do find something interesting, when you speak to our career coaches, they would be able to provide further information around those entry routes. One of the other resources that you would find is about the training, learning and funding options. So these are continuously updated on our website. You would see what funded routes are available, but also the other options as well. It tells you about courses and also what levels you would progress on further from there to kind of grow and develop. You will also find information about the local market information. So local market informations are basically information around career sectors in the area that you want to work in. So it would be around what employment opportunities are available, what growth, what does that look like for the particular career sector. Should you choose to work in, say, for example, in construction industry or in engineering industry, you would see how the growth pattern in various job profiles within those sectors look like, and you'll be able to see if those options are sustainable, not just for yourself, but also is it really practical? Do you see yourself being in that role, working in the sector 5 to 10 years from now? So thanks for bringing that up, Caroline. So you'll see that that's the further education. So you can find a course and also exclusive information if you're 16 to 17-year-olds, and any relevant financial help is available over there. So you can go through for some brief information, but obviously if you need further support, further information from there, please feel free to contact us. Sorry, Caroline, if we can go back to that website. No. Right, that's all right. So if you do find time, just go on the website. You will see a ticker on top of it that would have links for the Skills Health Check we spoke about earlier, the jobs and courses, and also job help as well. Apart from that, what we also offer, you may have heard, oh, thanks, Caroline. So if you just go slightly on top of the page, I think we'll need to take off that cookies. Okay, this is not the National Career Service website. All right, I think it is a wrong link. Would you mind going on the National Career Service website if that's okay? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, the black one on top that says Explore Careers. So that's where you would find the 700 job profiles we were talking about, and you would notice that they are listed by sector. So if you go into any one of that, you'll find what are the different jobs within each of those sectors, and it will also tell you how to, you know, what qualifications are required, what employers' entry requirements are, what it takes to become that a person working in that industry, and what courses are linked to it, anything of that sort really. So go and explore these options, keeping where you want to go in mind. On top, if we just go further back again, I'm just going to read the skills assessment is the skills health check we were talking about earlier. Thank you, Caroline. So the first one is a slightly more enhanced, shorter skills health check, and then it's a more advanced one if you're more interested in looking at, you know, more in-depth analysis against your analytical skills, problem-solving skills, anything of that sort. These are quite important, not just for now, but also for the future. Should you appear for interviews and you want to know what to talk to an employer, how to highlight your strengths in key transferable skills, anything of that sort. If we go slightly on top again, you'll find other areas which will include find a course. And that's the skills toolkit, where that would help you to identify what relevant courses might be suitable for you. It includes both employability courses, but also vocational and other accredited courses in that. Thanks, Caroline. If we can just quickly go to contact us section, because we are here. I don't want you to keep switching, but thank you. You would notice that there is information about 0800 number and the working hours. You can also speak to us via online web chat. We have advisors available between the same working hours that you can just talk to. You know, if you have any queries, you could email us your queries as well. But post is something that not we are doing due to current circumstances now. Thank you. If we can just go back to the slide, please. While we wait for that, just want to also say, you know, I think touched on it earlier about apprenticeships. So you may have, I was watching and could see quite a lot of valuable information was provided around apprenticeships. That's the next slide, please, Caroline. So you also would have noticed that all the providers, when they spoke about apprenticeships, they spoke about it as very much like a job. You apply for it like how you would apply for a job and go through the interview process. So our coaches, our career coaches can come in there and help you to develop a CV. We can also help you with making those applications, support you with proofreading them, and also develop your skills in terms of how to make these applications effective. We can also help you understand the employer requirements there, what they really look for, not just in the application, but also in a job interview. We can do mock interviews with you, not just for face-to-face interviews, but also the digital interviews that are happening these days, how to handle telephone and video interviews as well to help you boost your confidence. Yeah, if we can move to the next slide. So those were the brief about the job profiles, just a snapshot of what we were looking at earlier. So with over 700 job profiles, I'm sure you'll find something closer to what you were looking for. We can just get Caroline, thank you. So those are the skills assessments. So with the skills assessment, when you complete the advanced one, you would get almost like a 10-page report based on every skills that's been analyzed there. It would also help you to talk to our career coaches after that to interpret what the results of those skills assessment are. You would also notice that towards the end of the skills assessment, it would link your strengths to basic job profiles where your skills might be utilized most effectively. And the website works in that way that once you know what those options are, you'll be able to go back to the job profiles and see if that's what you want to do, if that's kind of the direction you want to take. You'll also notice that in careers advice section, there are post 16 and post 18 options, and that's again linked to quite a lot of training opportunities, apprenticeships, vocational qualifications. But obviously outside what is just there in on our website are qualified National Careers Advisors would be able to help you with using much more valuable tools and resources to help you make those informed decisions. Next one, please. So that's some contact information for us. We're also available on Twitter and Facebook. Feel free to follow us. We also work with employers across Northwest. So you would also see some employment opportunities, apprentice opportunities, and course opportunities that just constantly get posted. You will also notice that we advertise virtual jobs fair and careers fair, where employers come in virtually and talk about the kind of opportunities they've got and talk about their entry requirements too. So it's worth spending time during virtual jobs fair to understand what you're going to be facing once you complete your training and your courses and which direction you want to go. So that's it from us, and thank you and all the best.
Thanks very much, Emma. Those websites are absolutely fantastic, so be sure to check those out. The skills builder profiles are really, really useful for anybody who's wanting to get an insight into their careers, etc. So I'm just going to switch you over now to our final presenter of the day. So thank you for bearing with us. If you have to jump off because you've got something else to go to, please do note that today's session will be fully recorded and you can come back and watch it on YouTube at any point. So our final presenter for today is the much awaited for Gary from CTech Outsource, who's delighted to join us today, and he's going to be talking to you a little bit about workplace skills and employability. Over to you, Gary.
Hopefully I'm just not here talking to myself and everyone hasn't disappeared for lunch, so I'll keep it brief. I'm sure you're all been desperately waiting for this presentation. So this is the modern world we're in now. Due to lockdown, we had some of this forced upon us, but this was the way a lot of recruitment was going anyway. But now we're all used to this because of how we have to operate at home and how we operate in school. So that's so I think this is really, really relevant, and hopefully it's as I'm on last, the benefit of this staying in your head after this is gone. So if you can go through to the next slide for me, that'd be great. So usually we have the standard face-to-face interview that we, a lot of us may have been or may not have been through in the past. And now we have this modern way of speaking to each other like we're operating with now, the video interview. We've recruited through lockdown, and this is how we've interviewed initially, to get people in. So it's really, really important that we adjust our skills and have a look at different methods of recruitment, because this is definitely the way forward. And a lot of jobs now that where in the past you've had to have, be placed in a certain part of the country. Now there's a lot of opportunities now, and the option to work from home. It's been forced upon us, but now a lot of companies are having that as an option. So how you perform in these calls is really important, getting the job and how you will do your day-to-day work. So that's, if you can go to the next slide, that'd be great. So some of the things that you need to prepare to make sure this is successful for yourselves: always test your technology. Don't leave it till last minute to go on and then realise that your speaker doesn't work or your camera's not working. So, and always keep your identity professional, and pick where you choose to do this and how you choose to do it is really important. It's just the same as a physical interview, that the first time you meet someone, it resonates. So you only get one chance to make a first impression. So exactly the same online. So stay professional, dress for success. I'm in the office. I do not have pajama bottoms on. I could get it and prove it to you, but it's really important. What we're wearing today is acceptable. It's a shirt, it's a jumper. It's not all about ties and blazers anymore. That's quite old school. Although a lot of companies will want business dress. So when you get that invite, make sure if it asks for business dress, make sure that you dress for that success. So create a set. I'm okay today because I'm in the office. But if you're at home in a kitchen or in a bedroom, it's not ideal sitting on your bed, leaning against your pillows and having an interview. It doesn't set a good impression. So if you're forced sometimes if you're forced into a room because there's other people in the house, which is completely understandable, make sure you have a little look at maybe doing a backdrop for yourself. So have a bit of a practice. Do it with a friend, do it with a colleague, do it with your parents, do it with somebody to monitor your body language. You might use a lot of hand movements Hopefully you won't pick your nose, but you know, you might have some involuntary movements that affect your impression that you're giving across to people. So rid yourself of distractions. If my mobile phone went off now, how you know, what a distraction that would be, how unprofessional would that be? I know we have lots of distractions when we work from home, you know, people dropping Amazon, neighbours knocking with Amazon, yeah, people ringing on the doorbell, selling stuff to you, you know, it's the TV, you know, there's so many distractions, children, dogs, you know. So it's really important that you get yourself rid of your distractions. Tell people that you're going in the room, you need half an hour, you know, give you some room, some space and some silence, you know, and keep kids quiet for half an hour. You're doing well in our house. So, and don't forget to follow up when you've had your interview. It's just the same as a physical interview. You must follow up with an email, with a phone call to see how you got on. Next slide, please. So there's some really good tips. Look directly into the camera, not at the screen, which I always forget to do. So, you know, it's like when I have a picture taken of me, I'm always looking in the other direction. So make sure you look into the camera. Check your audio, like I said before, check your video, check your internet. Nothing worse than dropping out of a call. We've all seen a TV advert, haven't we, about the person wanting to give their input. Next thing, they drop out the call or someone else gives that information over and you've missed your moment. So it's really important to check all the kits working. The neutral background, free of distractions. Have digital files that were submitted application on hand. So if anything that you were asked to bring in or asked to have that on hand, if that's a physical copy next to you, fine. If that makes you feel more comfortable, or if you've got anything that you have to submit or get up on the screen, get that ready to, you know, take the pressure off yourselves. So mark it in your virtual calendar and set reminders before the meeting. So, you know, you've been to the loo, you've fastened your tie, and you're sitting there 5 minutes before, you're ready, you're good to go. Take away all them distractions so you're good to give a good account of yourself. Next slide, please. So be authentic and engage with the interviewer. It's normal to be nervous and overwhelmed when you're trying to win over an interview. It's no different than face-to-face. So when you're prepared, you're able to better demonstrate why you're the best person in the role, know your selling points and reiterate these points throughout the interview. You know, give yourself a sporting chance. It's also time to show your personality. Make sure lots of smiles. Don't be afraid to engage with the interviewer. If you have a funny anecdote ready, that's great. If you've got a joke that you've heard that you think, you know, to break the ice, you think that's appropriate, that's good as well. And interviews, it can't be too cardboard. It can't be too, you know, just churning out questions. They want to see what your personality is like. A lot of people, when they interview people, they think in the back of their mind they've got the skills, but will they fit in with this team? I've got a team here, I've got a group of people. Will this person sitting in front of me, will they fit in? Especially when you're younger, when you're coming into a team, it's really important that that when somebody's interviewing, you think, do you know what, they'll be fine. No one expects you to have lots of experience because your age, but what they do expect is what they will think about is how you'll fit in with that existing team. So although there's physical distance between you and the interview, you should always treat the virtual interview like you were in the office. Behave like it was a face-to-face interview. A really tricky one, especially if you've got rubbish connection, is don't talk over the interviewer. Let them finish the sentence or question. Loads of us do these Teams calls all the time, and it's so difficult. You talk, you stop, you talk, you stop. And if there's lag in technology, you know, you're supposed to speak at the time, make sure you apologise, let them lead. If you don't understand the question you've asked, let them finish before clarifying question. Quite a tricky one, that, especially if there's more than one of you on the screen. So that's really important to follow that lead. So remember to be respectful, kind. To ace an interview means always to make a positive impression. Next slide. So what should you wear? Like I said before, I promise you I'm in the office in the city centre. I'm not in my pyjamas. So, you know, it's just dress professionally. You know, it says even from the waist up, but I would always fully dress professionally because I think you'll feel a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable. We know the interviews can be pretty challenging, especially in a full household. So I recommend you try and find a quiet space, like we said before, no interruptions. And we know that can be challenging, so just do your best. Also suggest sitting in front, I would also suggest not sitting in front of a window, because it often casts a shadow over your face, and the interviewer will be squinting, looking to see, to try and make contact with you. So if you can do that where you're not sitting in front of a window, it'll also be pretty challenging during the interview if you can't see you. So we all know everyone has a white wall that you can sit in front of. We also know not everybody has a white wall that you can sit in front of, but if you've got one, use it. We recommend trying to find a space that's got little or no distractions, so we can just focus on the interview. So some of the tips, really good tips that we've learned along the way: post-its around your screen, so you're still looking forward, but you've got your post-its, giving yourself little notes, things that to remind you. The worst thing for me when I come out of an interview is go, oh, I wish I'd said that, or I wish I'd said that, or I forgot this, I forgot that, and you feel like you haven't given a good account of yourself. The post-its will get you through that so you don't miss anything, but you still maintain eye contact. Try and speak clearly, don't be afraid of pauses while the interviewer makes notes, because sitting on the other side of the screen like I do interviewing people, sometimes if I'm doing it on my own, I have to write it all up as well. So don't be distracted by that. It's not an awkward silence. People have to sit and take notes. So remember, interview formats have not changed. So during a competency-based interview, still use the same techniques: the situation, the task, the action, result. Although you're on a screen, it's still not very different from a face-to-face. Use the technology to your advantage, but ultimately your enthusiasm, your motivation, that's what will secure the role. So that's it. That's my hints and tips. So hopefully you're still engaged at this stage. As an organisation, CTEC is huge. We've got contracts. We've got an adult education contract in the Manchester region where it's just short of £1 million. We do for 19 plus, we have an ESOL academy taking people through entry level all the way through to level 2 qualifications as English as second language. We do security industry badges for 19 plus. We do FLT and warehousing, and currently we do a couple of traineeships as well. So one of our traineeships is a business administration traineeship with a link to social media. So although it's your standard business administration traineeship that you need to have when you're working in an office, we also have a young lady who's an influencer who comes in on our programs, and she runs a social media company and give young people hints and tips on a couple of things, really: how to manage your own social media, because after that interview, quite often employers will go and look at your social media before making a decision on you. So you need to make sure that your social media, when you're applying for jobs, is a professional. It doesn't mean that you can't have, times when you're having a drink or having enjoyment or doing what you do, but it has to be. It has to make sure it doesn't cross a line. So on that, the social media traineeship that we do, the influencer will tell you how to market yourself, both professionally and socially with your social media presence. And it's really important, because I know social media plays a massive part of young people's lives, but don't let it be the thing that stops you from getting where you need to be because you've posted stuff that's inappropriate. So yeah, we run that business administration and social media traineeship now. That's live. There'll be one of them this month. It's all online. We've got tablets with data included if people have not got IT equipment, and that's run at the moment. And obviously at the end of that traineeship, we've got appropriate placements all over Greater Manchester to support you in that. So currently that is an online program, as I said, with a social media influencer doing half a day a week for the 3 weeks of the program. So I know it's a bit of a whistle stop, but I just know you're all desperate to go and have a bacon butty or whatever you have to eat. Is that okay, Caroline?
Yeah, thanks very much, Gary. I think that was, sorry, I think someone's just got the microphone on. I think that was a really useful way to finish, because interviews play a really big part of apprenticeships, don't they? So it was really nice to hear some of those insights. And I know that we're all desperately checking our backgrounds to make sure that we didn't have any of those things interfering. I was thinking about my window that's over there and my screen and checking my pajamas under the desk, just kidding. But a really great way to finish. So thank you very much.
Not very appropriate in Manchester, is it, with me Liverpool pen.
I'm not shifting the screen back to that, Gary. Nobody wants to see that pen. But thank you very much indeed for joining us. That brings us to the end of our sessions this morning for FE Choices. So just a couple of final things to share with you in terms of the slide deck. Thank you so much to those who've persevered with us throughout the course of the morning to get to this last content. If you have been watching on YouTube, I hope that you've taken several breaks throughout the morning to have lots of cups of tea and biscuits. I know that we're all ready to go and get ours now. So in terms of FE Choices, a few last things to say. It is really, really important to absorb all of the information that you've heard today from some fantastic providers talking about apprenticeships and traineeships. Don't forget to check out those videos on YouTube, digest them in your own time. This video will be available later on if you've dipped in and dipped out and want to revisit. You can find everything about today's event on our social media using the hashtag FEChoices21. We've still got our Zoom Q&A this evening, so if anyone's got any individual questions, you can email them to us at info@stockport-jobsmatch.co.uk. Pop them on our social media channels or join us live this evening to ask those questions either in person or by dropping them into the chat box. And for anything else you need, you can visit our website. It's all on there, stockport-jobsmatch.co.uk/career-options. There's still more to come throughout the rest of the week. Tomorrow we have vocational and technical qualifications, including BTECs, short courses and study programmes. Thursday, we've got non-traditional career routes and alternative provision, and Friday, those great presentations that cover everything from national insurance numbers to how to apply to a bank account, to getting that all-important first paycheck, routes into employment, routes into university, and everything in between. So be sure to check that out. And thank you to everyone who's joined us today. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it really, really useful, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Thanks. Bye now.